Are you fixing my hair? Do I have a gray? What are you doing? What's happening?
There was a chunk in your hair.
Oh, phew. Just a chunk, not a gray. Should that be the start of the podcast?
All right, welcome back to the Evan and Katelyn podcast. Real quick shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Thank you for sponsoring, and we'll hear a little bit more on them later. But today's podcast is about the life cheat sheet.
This is Evan's life cheat sheet. I am merely a part of it.
You're an integral part of it too, but it's something that I started out a long time, I don't know, it was probably like
High school, right?
yeah, probably around there. I just don't know say how many years that was ago because I'm counting it and I'm feeling old. But I know that there are people older than me listening to that, and I know no one likes anyone complaining about their age. So moving on, it's just, I don't know, every now and then you have these deep thoughts and you're like, oh, I want to write that down and figure that out and ponder more and try to simplify all of those concepts that you've had into a single sentence or a single concept, and then see how they hold up over time. So it's what we're going to be sharing on this episode is just one of the life cheat sheets, a single bullet point. And then we'll probably make this a reoccurring segment and kind of go back to the life cheat sheet, add some more of the things that have held up over time, and kind of flush out I don't know, my approach to life a little bit.
Evan's approach to life cheat sheet, part 1.
Thanks for the intro song.
You're welcome.
So today's thing, today's point that we're gonna be making is about finding your thing, and I think that it's a fairly easy thing to explain. Basically, how does your mom describe you when she's telling you about her friends?
You mean when she's telling your friends about you?
Oh, yeah. How does your mom describe you when she's talking about you to her friends? or when you introduce yourself, or when a coworker introduces you? It's what's that thing? Hey, this is Katelyn. She
likes cats.
That's the thing. Yes, that's the thing.
That's one of my things.
But you have different things depending on the context too. If your mom introduces you, it might be you're a student, or you're an athlete, or you
likes cats.
Hi, this is my daughter Katelyn. She likes cats. If that is your primary thing, you must really like cats.
You know I do.
I know, and that's kind of followed you around for a long time. Since it was it is one of your things, and that's the thing that people know about you. What's your Christmas present? What's your birthday presents? It's
often cat-related
things, cat-related measuring cups and mugs and
cat slippers.
Lots of things. And that
cat ears on my headphones. That was a gift from you.
Yeah, but oftentimes your thing might be your profession. It might be your hobbies. It might be whatever it is. It might be you are a parent. That's a huge thing to so many people. A big part of your identity. What is the thing that makes you you? To yourself and to others.
Yeah, I think a lot of people fall into their profession being their thing, even if it's not something that they're super into.
Yeah.
Your thing can be taken over by responsibilities you have in life, and you can lose your thing to your adult responsibilities.
Oh, yeah, and we almost lost gaming. There was a long time there where I wanted to play games, but I just couldn't justify the time. And I felt that lack of my identity. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people who graduate from college struggle with what their life is, what their life means now that you're not a student. Because when you're in school, being a student is so much a part of your thing. And even within being a student, you are good at math, or you are part of student council, or you're part of a swim team or band or whatever it is. So it's so much of your thing is tied up into school. Mm-hmm. And once you lose school, then you lose so many things all at once, and you're who am I? What am I? And also you go from being a student to this new job, and that's a new thing. That's a new part of your identity, but it hasn't been part of your identity up until that moment, and you've just lost all of your previous things. And I think that that's something that a lot of people struggle with, Well,
especially if your first job maybe isn't your first choice. If you've been in med school for years and you become a doctor, you're yes, I'm fulfilling my thing, assuming that it's something you're passionate about.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it'd be really hard to get through med school. But
for both of us, we had fairly easy transitions from school to our job with like continuity of our thing. For me, it was engineering and, design and problem solving and all of that. That carried over pretty easily. And for you,
it was art.
Art, yeah. Art has been your thing for the longest time.
As long as cats, almost.
Cats was before art?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think so. I mean, I remember being passionate about cats long before I was good at art. I remember liking cats when I was like 2 and 3.
Now, this brings up an interesting point. You said, I remember liking cats before I was good at art. Now, that brings up an interesting theory of mine. Do you have to be good at something for it to be your thing? Oftentimes, I feel like being good at something kind of makes it your thing.
Sometimes okay. Well, first I'll say art was my thing before I was good at it because I had lots of older relatives that were artists that told me I was an excellent artist before I was. When I was at probably the same skill level.
The belief that you are good, is that often what leads to something becoming your thing?
Maybe. But your thing isn't always something that you do.
Yeah.
So let me use 2 of my examples.
How can you be good at loving cats? I mean, you are great at loving
I'm great at it, but it's not always something you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just something you like, and the thing you like is your thing.
Yeah.
Like you could be really into sports.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that's not that is something you actively do.
But a lot of people are really into sports that don't.
Oh,
play them.
Well, watching it. That's the thing, a way you spend your time.
I like watching cats. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep bringing you back.
Always back to the cats. Okay. Well, I think that...
Okay.
Okay. We understand. But I think that, being aware that you have a thing, and maintaining it and kind of... I don't want to say curating it, because that sounds, really weird and... wrong, I don't know, for some reason, but
nourishing it,
that's it, nourishing it. If you're seeing them fade, you can either reinforce them or just know that they're still a part of you just don't have the time for them anymore. I just feel like being aware of that helps people.
What would you say 3 of your top things are, or 5 of your top things? Pick a number. I don't know how many you have.
Okay, I think primarily I definitely think one of our things now is our job, which is content creation. But I think that that's a huge... YouTubing. I feel like that's a huge part of our things. Or I'll just talk about me first. So creating content is a big part of our thing. Making is a huge part of my thing. And that encompasses art, engineering, video editing, photo editing, just making in general.
I I feel like you're bundling a lot into that.
I feel like I am.
Video editing.
Okay,
art.
Video editing, I think it's maybe a little bit different. I think art and making, are they close enough to tie together?
I don't think so, because I think there's a lot of people that are into one that aren't into the other. I don't think you can bundle them.
Making and art. So content creation, making art, and a strange thing that I don't talk about much, if at all, anymore, is I still feel like a core part of me is a swimmer.
Yeah, I feel that about you too.
Yeah, because I love swimming. I'd love to work out via swimming, but I swam for years and years during high school for hours a day, 6 days a week. It's just still so much a part of me, even though I don't do it. And I think that's weird.
I think there's a tiny, tiny part of me that still considers soccer a thing. I did for 8 years.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't played since late middle school.
Would you still love it if you did it?
Probably not. I might. But I just don't want to get sweaty.
When I hop back into the pool and I'm swimming laps and stuff, I just get this sense of home. This is gonna sound really weird, but when you're in your home and there's cozy lights on, maybe a fire, there's a very home comfort vibe to a scenario like that. And I kind of get a similar feeling when I jump into a pool and I'm swimming laps. I just feel like I've returned home. Maybe it's just
You're a merman.
I'm a merman.
I think with soccer, it's a little bit harder because soccer is a team sport. I can't just grab a ball and get the same vibes.
Yeah.
Whereas swimming is more individual.
An intramural league for a day.
You have to hang out with people.
People that you don't know.
People I don't know. I don't know. I think it'd be fun if this wasn't a weird scenario, if there was neighborhood kids just like kicking a ball around. If I could just go like kick a ball around, but only with kids because adults would probably be too good. I don't remember anything. I need to go up against children.
Is sand soccer a game?
That sounds terrible.
That does sound kind of terrible.
Yeah.
Like running through sand.
And like you kick sand, goes in people's faces. Yeah,
I was
that's
thinking
a really
like we
bad
have
idea.
enough people at our family reunions to like
No.
get together an impromptu soccer match.
No,
No.
only if the house is near a field next time.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to like rejuvenate your thing.
It's okay. It's still there in a small
It's
small
like
part. I have enough
a
active
ghost of your
things.
thing.
So yeah, it's like a ghost of my thing. maybe our niece will eventually play soccer or something like that.
And then you can like be part of it in that way. Yeah.
I still feel like I know some footwork.
What are some other things that were a big part of your life that aren't anymore?
Art.
Oh, that's sad.
I know, but
It's something okay, this is something that we have talked about quite a lot. Video games, I felt like I lost that thing that was a big part of me, and we've been able to bring it back through Evan and Katelyn Gaming, which I'm so thankful for.
yeah, that was one of them for me too.
Yeah. And we've tried to kind of like justify, like put systems in place that justify you spending time on art. That sounds so like
Well, that's what we do with video games.
That's what we do with video
systems
games.
in place.
it worked with video games, but I feel like putting a system into place where you can like do art
We could start
regularly.
an art channel.
We kind of do have an art channel with Evan and Katelyn, like not an art channel, but like
It's different,
we're able
though.
to do art every now. Yeah,
The
but
thing is, so the art that I identified as my thing for so long, I don't really have a desire to do it anymore.
it's like
that type.
detailed line art, character design.
Yeah, I
like
used to do like fantasy and sci-fi art, and it was all like detailed line art, like Photoshop coloring, like digital art, and
like tens of hours, like maybe like 30, 40 hours per piece.
yeah, like really long time.
Yeah.
And like I can justify doing some types of art, like we do like some resin art and acrylic pours and stuff on the channel, and like the spin art, and that's fun. But it's also just like you kind of chaotically plop some colors in a thing, and then you call it art, And like I've been able to sometimes justify doing art for the house if it's like, oh, we need some art on that wall. I'll just paint something real quick.
Yeah.
But like. And it's fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, it is fun to just like, oh, well, these are kind of the colors I want. And like, here's some inspiration. I'll just like whip something up. But it's different because I never used to do that before when I was like really into art and drawing every day.
And like, I still definitely identify you as an artist because you're able to do things like, oh, I just grab some colors and I whip up a beautiful piece of art. And I know what you're saying. Like, that isn't your creation process. I still like know and believe that it's a big part of your identity, but I also like understand and realize and recognize that like that's not like the identity that you had.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like I said, it's not really an identity that like
you have the desire to put that much time into
I don't really
anymore.
wanna. I mean, maybe it would be fun. Maybe I'd have fun if I just had a bunch of time to just like draw up a mermaid or a fairy or like, some like sci-fi princess. That's like the kind of stuff, I was very nerdy.
We're very nerdy.
But like, it's just hard to justify putting so much time into something that like then just lives in a digital file on my computer.
Yeah. And we've gotten some printed, but like you said, like, and this is something you said to me earlier, so I'm just bringing it up here to add to the conversation. I think I remember you telling me that you don't really want that type of art on our walls anymore.
Yeah, I don't really want our walls to feel like a movie poster or like a book cover.
Yeah.
It's like the art on your walls. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I just tend to like stuff that is slightly more abstract-y or like landscapey.
Well, I think that another thing is that identity that you reached, like like the last art that you like really put a lot of time into was like the mermaid octopus like mashup. That's really cool, and it's like
I never finished it.
60% done, 80% done.
Yeah, my vampire squid mermaid.
Vampire squid mermaid, and I think that
years ago.
that was definitely before we started YouTube.
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
I think that
I think we were like in the apartment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't think we even lived in this house yet.
Okay, that was quite a long time ago. But anyways,
Yep.
the arc that you had been on from when you did your first Legend of Zelda art in like MS Paint on the
Yep.
computer, it's like that whole trajectory that you had been on for 20 years or something like that.
Maybe not 20 years, but yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's that 15-year trajectory. You can kind of trace all of your art fairly linearly. You know, it's like this led to this, led to this, led to this, and you kept on getting better and better and better, and your art style kept on evolving. But you took this break, this long break, and your interests and designs have changed. And I think that like restarting up and like, re-experimenting and finding like a new style that might fit you and fit our life, that's a huge time investment.
Yeah, it's like finding a whole new style.
It's like ripping off a Band-Aid or like poking a wound or something like that. Oh, sorry.
Don't talk about wounds.
don't talk about wounds. But I mean, it's kind of a little bit painful in that way, kind of looking at yourself and your identity that closely. I don't know. I've had similar moments. I don't want to talk for you, but
I mean, it's kind of the same for you because art was one of your things too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, this is going to sound so dramatic, but like art is such a personal thing, and it's you put so much of yourself into it. And if it's good, you're like, yay. And if it's bad, I've like definitely like made bad art and I'm like, oh my gosh, I suck. Who am I? I'm like an imposter. I'm not even an artist. Like, well, like why do I even think of myself as an artist if I can't even like, I remember there's this one piece of art that I wanted to do, like cliff walls on the left and right side with a river going down between them and like a sunset behind it. And I was trying to paint that like, just like an original thought from my head onto the canvas, and it sucked. It sucked so bad. I still might have it, just like a slab of shame in our closets over here. It was so painful. It made me question if I even am an artist.
I've had those moments too. It's also a similar thing happens when you're on DeviantArt and you're like, you see something amazing, then you realize they're 15 or 10 years younger than you, and you're like, God, I'm never gonna be that good.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah. So I guess art is one of our things that we're still working on.
We're still definitely conflicted
Figuring it
about.
out.
Yeah. Like it's still a part of our identities. It's still somewhat active, but it's definitely like
Taking a back burner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to like, and I do believe that creating videos is kind of definitely a creative process. You know,
It's a creative process, but I think it's different.
It's not art.
It's not art in the sense of like, it's not art in the same way that the art we identified with is.
Yeah.
Are there like different types of creative
Like
things?
Eugene's coming out video, that could be considered art.
But even that's not the same.
Yeah, you're
you
right.
can't say like if I used to draw Zelda fan art all the time and I was super passionate about Zelda fan art, and then I made a really cinematic dance music video like Eugene did.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Eugene from the Try Guides, by the way, if you guys haven't seen the video. Those are totally different endeavors.
Yeah.
And it's not saying one is more art than the other. They're just different types of skills and processes. Even just like drawing versus painting. If you want to get really granular about it.
Yeah.
Because you were more painting and I was more drawing.
Yeah, and you've moved over a little bit towards painting.
Because it looks better on the walls.
Yeah, so that's kind of our thing theory. I mean, I think that it's kind of hopefully you understand what we're saying now when we talk about like having a thing, like what is your thing, and kind of like losing your thing or like shifting what your thing is. And I think it's an interesting thing to like self-analyze yourself with.
It just makes me really grateful that we have been able to bring back video games as a thing. We like rekindled a thing. And it's also like I don't require having all of my things be present in my life at all times.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's only so much space in life. If I can get like a couple things, I'm pretty good.
I think that like maybe having like one professional, one personal might be good to get you like.
I mean, I'm not going to put like
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there
a
is
prescription on it.
Yeah, you're right. It depends wildly on like who you are,
you
your
might not
life
care about your
situation.
job at all, but you have a love for travel and an awesome dog.
Yeah.
And those are two things, and your job doesn't have to be the most fulfilling thing. It's interesting. This kind of makes me think of the like follow, bring it back to jobs, like follow your passion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I meant to talk about this.
Type thing. Every time I say thing now, I'm thinking like the thing. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, there was this like huge push at some point, like follow your passion. I think that's what a lot of people in
It was
our
our
generation was
generation,
told, like follow your passion.
Yeah, which I mean, like, and we both kind of did,
I think so, but also
within reason.
But also, both of us followed what we were good at.
We followed what we were good at, and we followed our passion within reason. If we straight up followed our passion, I would be like trying to do art commissions in a very specific style and topic.
I think that like if you followed your passion, you wouldn't be doing art commissions. You would be doing your own art.
That's true.
And getting paid for it somehow.
That's true. Magically. Yeah, I'm being too practical.
Selling prints or selling designs or something like that.
Yeah, that is true.
That like if you were just like 100%, like I'm just going to follow my 100% passion. It would just be like doing your own original art.
And just putting it online. And
having people tell you what to do is
that's true. It sucks.
Hard, especially for art.
Yeah. I've done it because I've done commissions before.
Yeah, but did you love it?
No. Okay, so I was being too practical. You're right.
Yeah,
if I was just straight up following what my passion was at the time. Well, actually, that was like my passion in high school. I kind of stopped drawing. It wasn't because of YouTube, really. It was because of college.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by your friends all the time in college, and it's like, well, I can hang out with my friends, I can do homework, I can sleep, or I can draw, and drawing got cut. But yeah, the whole like follow your passion thing, it's a really interesting piece of advice because like the thing we're doing now isn't something like when I was graduating high school I would have thought that I'd be passionate about. So I think there's also an element of being like open and flexible to
trying new things and seeing if you're good about it and seeing if you have a passion for it. But I think that one thing that is interesting is we were going for a walk the other day and we realized that both of us, before we started YouTube, before we did any of this, we both had blogs. We were both sharing things online. We both loved creating things and sharing them online, you know, and that was a thing that we had passion for, but we just never even let ourselves consider that it was a thing because back then
it wasn't a job back then.
It wasn't a job and it wasn't something that a lot of people identified with. There weren't any bloggers or YouTubers or whatever. I mean, there were bloggers back then, I guess.
Not like professional ones, though, really. Not really in high school.
Not really, yeah. And so that's one thing that, like, never became a thing because we didn't let it because we just never thought about it in that way.
Yeah. Well, I guess, like, so, you know, if I was sharing art online, I thought the thing was the art, not the sharing of it online.
Yeah.
But looking back, I realized that sharing it online and getting feedback and interacting with other artists and stuff like that was a huge part of the draw. But it's just not something I like registered fully in the moment. And
interestingly enough, like with the video games, I feel like the sharing it with people, sharing it online, like streaming it and then sharing the highlights afterwards, that makes the games more fun to me and more enjoyable. It just kind of almost enhances the whole experience. And maybe it's because of the same thing, you know, like sharing it with others and joining in with others in this community is a big part of all of this for us.
Well, I think it's the same for the main channel projects and stuff. So the video we just released Friday is the resin planets. So that's something that like I feel like I might have had a hard time justifying just making this random thing just for the sake of making it if we weren't doing it for the video. Like it was really fun and I'm glad we did it and they turned out really cool. But I think knowing that we were going to be sharing it with people like,
made it worth the time.
You know, and that's a project that's kind of inherently fun and experimental anyway. But even things like the attic project, which like isn't the most fun spending a bunch of time in a sweaty attic. Even that was more fun knowing that like we're not just doing the project, we're also making a video that we get to share with people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're right. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that might be a good place to wrap up the thing. I think it was fun. It was fun kind of like diving into this and analyzing it with you. Because like these are things we've been talking about between the two of us. Yeah. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this too. Like, let us know in the comments below if you enjoyed the life cheat sheet. We have
a bunch more cheat sheet bullets.
We have a whole bunch more cheat sheet bullets. And would love to share this with you. But I think right now, what I want to share with you is Squarespace. You know what? We're making another website right now, evanandkatelyngaming.com. And when we went to make that new website, the very first thing we thought about was Squarespace because it's easy, we were able to like start designing right away. We chose a good template. We know that it has all of the plugins that we need, like already built into the website. You don't need to download any third-party things. Our websites are always up and running, and if we ever run into any troubles, there's always 24-hour support.
Yeah. So because of that, it's super low maintenance. And because you can try it for free, it's super low pressure. So if you guys want to try it out, go to squarespace.com. You can start your free trial. And if you decide that you want to move forward and, keep going with your website and make a purchase officially, you can use code, or you can use the URL squarespace.com/Evan and Katelyn podcast to get 10% off your first order.
Nice read.
Yeah, did the things. Okay.
Did the things.
I
All
did
right.
the things. Thanks, Squarespace.
All right, guys, it's game time. All right, let's try to name this segment, this game type, and see if it makes sense to each other. So my name is Yahooed.
I didn't prepare for this part. I didn't think I'd have to be creative with the name because we're borrowing this game concept from another podcast we listen to.
The Try Guys. Well, basically the concept of the game is we just go to Yahoo Answers, we type in a word, any word, and then we answer whatever question pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could also
Kind
be
of like what about Yahoo Roulette?
Yahoo Roulette. That's a good one. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, let's do it.
I don't know what they called it on the Try Guys podcast, but
But
it was fun.
It was fun, and we want to do that too.
we want to do that thing.
All right,
Okay.
Katelyn, what's your word? Cat.
No. I was going to say whiskers.
All right, whiskers.
Okay. So I say the word, you type it in and pick a question.
Yes. All right, Katelyn, this is a great question for you. Why do cats have whiskers?
Oh, it's so when they're, well, I mean, there's a few reasons. One, it's so if they're going through a small opening, they can sense the width of the opening.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I heard this, and I don't know if it's true, but when a cat looks down and they're about to get a bug or something, its whiskers go,
Like a cone?
they go straight down around the bug like a cone.
Oh.
Did you know that cats can get whisker fatigue?
What? Like a muscle strain?
I just learned about this recently on Reddit. Because the question was why doesn't my cat ever finish their food in the bowl? And it's not that the food got stale and they got tired of it. They can get whisker fatigue. And so when their face is down in a deep bowl for too long, their whiskers are super sensitive and it can be just way too much sensitivity. And so they stop eating because their face being down in that bowl is too sensitive. Yeah. And so they actually, I want to get these for Jube.
Like wide bowls?
They sell whisker fatigue free bowls. I have some that I want to get.
Oh, that's so cute.
I know.
Okay, so another thing that I've heard is that whiskers on cats are as wide as their body.
So it's like the door thing.
Yes, they know that if they can fit their head in, it's as wide as their body, and they know they can fit their body
What
through.
if you have a really wide cat? I don't think if they eat a lot, their whiskers keep growing.
We should test it on the supervisor.
She's not that wide. We should test it on Bill and Britt's cat.
Oh yeah.
Punish
oh yeah.
props.
Yeah. Data collection.
Dat Buddha cat.
All right, Katelyn. My word is poop. All right, Katelyn. Choose a question.
Oh God. Does Slender Man poop?
Slender Man.
And you might need to explain Slender Man for anyone.
Slender Man is like an urban legend, and it actually got really creepy there for a while. People really started believing in Slender Man, and things got weird. But basically, Slender Man is a really creepy urban legend of a really tall guy in a suit, and he just slowly sneaks up behind you, and all of a sudden you turn around and he's right there.
Yeah, there's a really creepy Slender Man game. That's so stressful.
Oh,
Okay.
so stressful.
So does Slender Man poop?
No, because he doesn't exist at all until you turn around and he's there.
What if he has to hold his poops until you turn around?
You turn around and then he poops.
That's part of the scare tactic.
I might poop my own pants too.
Just have a joint poop. That's why he's always following you around, because maybe it's urgent. So he's got to get real close to you so that you sense something and turn around.
Ah, I get it.
It's
and
urgent.
so then he can exist.
Yeah. It's urgent poop. Mustache.
Should I pluck my girl mustache?
I mean, I think it's an urban legend that if you pull out hairs, they'll grow back darker. So, I mean, if you want to pluck your mustache, you can. Or you can just embrace it. You could pull a Jenna Marbles and get some Just for Men and, like, enhance it. I feel like it's, maybe you'll start a new trend.
All right. My word is YOLO.
Okay. Should I get the word YOLO or the whole sentence? You only live once. Tattoo. And where?
Oh, no. You should... the answer is... wait, I answer?
Yeah, you answer.
Okay,
you pick
I
the
answer.
word, I pick the question, you answer.
You should get the letters YOLO on your foot so that no one ever sees it.
Like on the bottom of your foot?
On the bottom of your foot.
What if you're relaxing on the beach?
Okay, so if you have to get... okay, so this is the thing. If you have to either get YOLO or You Only Live Once tattooed... I'd go for YOLO because eventually YOLO might mean something different.
Yeah.
And you can explain it away. If you tattoo You Only Live Once on your body, it'll forever mean that,
So I think the opposite.
Oh, really?
I think you should go with You Only Live Once because that's a more timeless sentence. Like sentiment,
Oh, yeah.
You only live once. That's something everyone can agree with. You put YOLO on there, people know. Even if it changes meaning, it's going to change to something else trendy.
Okay, so You Only Live Once. Are you going to put it on your wrist so you see it? Or are you going to put it on your, like, You Only Live Once?
My knuckles?
On your knuckles? So that, like, when you're about to punch someone, you they will understand that this is the only life they have and they're about to be knocked out.
Yeah, that's where I would do it. No, I think you should put it tattooed. Sorry, I was going to say something really morbid.
What about under your butt cheek flap?
Yeah, I think that's the best place.
So it's like you're questioning your life. You just like lift up your butt cheek and you're like, oh yeah, you only live once. All right, Katelyn, what is your word?
Okay. Bigfoot.
Katelyn, why do people believe in Bigfoot and where can you find one?
Oh, one is in like there's multiple?
Yeah. There could be multiple Bigfoots. It's just
Big
a race. It's a race of people called the Big Feet.
I thought Bigfoot was like a singular entity.
Well, people have been seeing Bigfoot for years. That must mean that he has a long life.
Well, yeah.
He's a mythical creature.
And he travels.
Okay, yeah, okay. So there's only one Bigfoot. So why do people believe in Bigfoot and where can you find him?
Well, I mean, people believe in him because they have large, hairy friends that like to go pee in the middle of the night when they're camping.
So where can you find them? Just go camping
And
with a
bring
hairy
your
friend.
large, hairy friends.
Bring as many of them as you can.
Yeah, like up your chances.
Yeah, and then you forget that you even brought one, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's Bigfoot. And you don't think, oh, that's Fred. Because you just assume Fred's around somewhere.
Yeah, Fred's always around.
Okay, Katelyn. So the search term is fish, and the question is, why does fish taste bad?
And I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to answer one of the questions that ask you one of the questions that popped up instead when you search that. And it is, why does my toothbrush taste bad?
Why does your toothbrush taste bad?
Why does it?
But let's look into the question for more context. I got into a fight with my wife, and every time I do this, the toothbrush thing happens. I can't figure it out.
What? That's not what I expected. Oh, I thought it was just like, well, you eat a lot of garlic and you haven't switched your toothbrush in a year.
Nope. Every time he gets in a fight with his wife, his toothbrush tastes bad. Why does that happen?
Well, I mean, she's definitely contaminating it. It could be with maybe it's fish.
Maybe she's putting his toothbrush on fish?
Yeah, it comes full circle. Back to your fish question. She just gets like anchovies, like a can of anchovies that she keeps in the back of the fridge and she dips it.
I think that sounds pretty horrible, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, that's probably what she's doing. They're getting in a fight. Toothbrush tastes bad.
Why did this come up for why does fish taste
Probably
bad?
because that's the answer. Someone answered it. Someone already answered it correctly. That's why I'm going with fish.
All right, Katelyn, my search term is Canada.
Does Canada have a military? Or let me repronounce that. A military.
Militry.
A military. Does Canada have a military?
Sure, they do, and they're really apologetic about it. They're really sorry about it, and their primary weapon is apologies, and they all ride horses, and they all have a backpack full of maple syrup.
A whole backpack?
Backpack.
Is it full
it's
of bottles?
pressurized, and like
Okay.
if anyone comes by them, they like do like I've seen like a Canadian military person
A military.
just like hit a beaver at a
How many miles per hour?
90
How many
meters,
kilometers?
90 meters away. At 90 meters, hitting a beaver right in the tail. I've seen it myself. The Canada's military is dangerous, and they're not afraid to
douse it.
syrup. Yeah,
What's their military called?
the Royal Canadian Military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that they might have a mounted unit. I feel like
there has to be something, right?
feel like there has to be,
we
right?
should know this, but it's just Canada's so peaceful compared to everyone else. It's hard to picture them.
I mean, I'm sure that
I'm sure
have
they do.
jets and like a standing army and stuff like that, right?
I'm sure they do.
But like Canada gets along with everybody. Why
No,
would,
no
why
one
would-
hates
yeah.
Canada.
No one hates Canada.
Everyone loves Canada.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe it's a secret military.
Oh, the Canada underground military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
I've heard rumors.
I've heard rumors too. Oh wait, I thought you saw a beaver getting shot down. What do you mean you've heard rumors? I thought you've seen
That's just their scouts. You know, they have many other unit types. You know.
it. Okay. There's the scouts, and then there's the underground military.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do they travel through ancient maple root tunnels?
No, they have an army of beavers that build all the
Oh, it
tunnels
is
for
the
them.
beavers.
Yeah.
The underground military is just beavers.
It's just beavers. Millions of beavers. You know what? They've been mechanized too.
Mechanized beavers.
Yeah, the mechanized beaver unit.
the MBUs.
Yep, I've heard reports through the grapevine. Those
That's
Canadians, they're dangerous.
That's pretty terrifying
Yeah.
and like also
Impressive.
cute. Yeah.
All right, one last question for you.
Okay.
And all of those are hilarious. No, let's do next page. Next page. All right, Katelyn searched Speedo
Speedo!
on Yahoo Answers. There are some great ones that we cannot answer
No,
because
this
it's
is
not that type of
This is a
podcast.
PG podcast. Oh, it's so good. Oh, high-tech swimsuit by Speedo. I've heard about the high-tech swimsuit by Speedo.
There's a lot of like people having a very particular problem with Speedos.
Well, I mean, I think you can guess what that is. I was gonna go with the high-tech one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
See, I know what high-tech Speedo they're talking about because I used to swim, as you might have heard earlier in the podcast.
Oh, you had a high-tech Speedo? So
Yeah.
it had in-flight calls?
In swim calls, you mean?
No, in-flight.
No. What it had Bluetooth, so I could listen to songs while I swam.
Did it really?
No.
Oh, you said that really seriously.
Okay,
No,
what
it's
are the
in-flight.
features?
You have to fly with it to benefit from the features.
I'm not sure if like United Airlines will let me on their
I mean,
plane
you can
just
wear it-
wearing a Speedo.
You don't have to just wear. I mean, you get better signal if you're just wearing a Speedo, but you can put clothes over it. It just like dampens your reception.
Dampens it. So does this Speedo let me fly, or do I go on airplanes in it?
You just go on airplanes in it, and you get like online Wi-Fi. In sorry.
Okay, I'm really curious to hear more about this.
My microphone just attacked me.
Okay, so tell me more about this high-tech Speedo. So you can make calls using it,
Yeah, you can make calls
and it gives you reception even while you're flying.
even while you're flying. That's like the main benefit is the flying.
So it's just
stuff.
one incredibly long antenna that you attach to your phone that gives you instant cancer.
Cancer?
Instant cancer. It's just like 100% radiation through your body.
No,
Nope.
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 That's not it. It's just because you're wearing it doesn't mean you're gonna get cancer. It's very high tech.
How else is it high tech?
So it also you can take pictures with it.
Oh no. Where's the camera, Katelyn? Where's the camera? There's no good answer here.
There's a front-facing and a rear-facing camera. There's
What
two.
resolution? What resolution?
It's 4K.
Oh, I thought it was potato resolution.
No, it's 4K. This is a high-tech camera. Potato resolution are from the Speedos of the past. It's 2019.
High-tech Speedo.
This is a high-tech Speedo. Yeah. It also has you can listen to music.
Oh, okay. So it does have Bluetooth.
Yeah, it does also have Bluetooth.
And how does it get the sound into your ears?
It's the bone transferring.
Oh, it's the bone
Goes
transferring. Through your hips, up your entire body, past all the fat and everything.
Yeah.
And then it rings your head loud enough that it hears in your ear. That's perfect, Katelyn. That's so good.
You definitely won't get cancer.
The high-tech Speedo. You definitely won't get cancer. What if the Speedo just covers your entire head and it covers your ears too, and that's where the bone transmitter speakers are?
That would be like a swim cap.
No. Speedo can like be more than just the tiny Speedo. Speedo is like not just the tiny little one. It's like you can get a whole suit of Speedo.
Well, Speedo is like a brand. Because
Speedo's a
I used
brand,
to have like Speedo girl swimsuits, like one pieces for swimming.
But like we would call like I mean they were.
But when people say Speedo, you know what they're talking about.
You know what they're
You're
talking
getting
about.
into specifics and like you're the high tech Speedo is a high tech Speedo.
Yeah. All right, Katelyn, do you think I've ever worn a Speedo? Like a Speedo?
Like, well, I know you've worn jammers.
Do you think I've worn a Speedo?
Yes.
I did.
Wait, how old were you though? Was it swimming or was it when you were little?
No, it was when I was swimming. I think I wore Speedos like multiple times when I was like, I don't know, 14. And then I also wore some during summer leagues once a while ago. But like, yeah.
It's pretty common in swimming.
Yeah, it's pretty common swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want me to tell you what a high-tech Speedo actually is?
Sure, let me guess. It's actually like, it's like a special kind of material that like has less drag.
Yeah, pretty much that. But what's interesting is they studied sharks and like dolphins and porpoises and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not just like low drag, because there are lots of patches of low drag, but in certain areas there's actually more drag, and it creates like flowing patterns as you swim. It like moves the water in a way that like creates kind of a little bit of a wake, and there's like
is that just in your Speedo area?
No, it's a full suit. It's a full suit. Oh yeah, no. It's not just like the little.
I was like, really? It makes that much of a difference?
It's not just like the little thing. No, I think on my swim team we had like multiple levels of the fancy swimsuit depending on how good you were. You got like more of it. so it's like if you were pretty good, you got the high-tech Speedo from the waist down. You know,
like
and if
pants.
you were like, like
swim
pants, it's like swim pants.
Oh,
yeah,
weird.
And it like reduces like the drag in a lot of ways, but adds like, because you're kicking, you want to push against the water in some ways. So it's like if you're like okay, you got the pants Speedos. If you're pretty good, you got the overall Speedos. And I think that's all we had the budget for. I think the overall Speedos were some of the best Speedos.
That's so interesting.
But it's so tight, and imagine using in the restroom.
I imagine it'd be kind of like being in a wetsuit, but like if you had to take it off to pee.
Yeah, but it's like you peed in yours.
You're supposed to pee in wetsuits.
No, you're not supposed to pee in wetsuits.
I thought you were supposed to pee in wetsuits.
No, you're supposed to hold it.
No, everyone says pee in the wetsuit to stay warm.
You're not supposed to pee in the wetsuit. You're not supposed to. Katelyn, have you peed in your wetsuits?
Well, yeah.
The poor people who had to clean it afterwards.
I didn't do it in like when we went like rafting and we weren't in the water.
No.
I only did it like scubaing.
To stay warm.
To stay warm. I thought you were supposed to.
No.
You were supposed to. Oh no.
Just like save it up, and then like you hop in, you pee to stay warm.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't like save it up on purpose.
Let me chug some water so I can like have my warmth as I dive.
No. But I did pee in it.
All right, good thing I was like beside you, holding your hand. Oh, no, just stayed in.
Yeah, it stayed in. It stayed in. That's the
All right,
point.
guys, I think that's a great place to end the podcast.
Wait, we got to do our thing of the week.
Our thing of the week. You're right. Oh man, I just wanted to end the podcast right there.
No, I have to redeem myself. All
right, guys. My thing of the week has been saving our booties.
Yes.
So much this week. It's so great. I bought it a long time ago. It's one of these things that like when you need it, and you're so glad you have it. It is a battery that you can jumpstart your car with. And it's really crazy because you can, it's just a battery like a little bit bigger than my cell phone, and it has like USB ports and has power ports, and you can like charge certain types of laptops on it too, but it's not that big. But the great thing about it is you can jump your car with this battery, guys. It's ridiculous, and our car has been dying a lot. So
to preface it, we sold my car like late last year because we're like, okay, we're working from home. We don't really need 2 cars.
And it's never really gotten in the way. It's never inconvenienced us almost at all.
But then when the car died, we were like, well, crap, what do we do?
One, you have no spare. You can't just say, well, let's take the other car and we'll deal with this one later. Two,
you can't
you can't jump it with your own car. So it's like you either have to call someone or whatever. But guys, the crazy thing is I hooked up this battery and it jumped way faster and way easier than if you had another car.
It was so easy.
It's so easy.
Less cumbersome.
Yeah.
It's less cumbersome. You don't have to worry about the red on car A and then the red on car B or whatever the order is.
And then you start this car, then start that car, then you need to rev it sometimes and all of that jazz.
And sometimes you're not in a place where another car can get near the hood of your car.
And another thing is there was no sparks. Because sometimes when you're connecting the jumper cables, it's sparky, and it just feels weird. And it was like plugging it into a socket almost.
Yeah.
Not really. And you still have the 2 clamps, but it was so ridiculously easy. And it's just
I think even if you're not a 1-car household, 'cause most people aren't, I think you should have one for each car.
Yeah, but I mean, you do have to charge it every now and then. You can. It comes with a car adapter, so that when your car is good, you can charge the battery using your car.
I still think it's super handy to have.
Super handy.
Yeah.
I really have been valuing it a lot.
Yeah, our cars died 3 or 4 times.
We should probably either check the terminals or take it in or what have you.
But instead, we're going on a road trip.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, but we're going to take the jumper with us. And if we need to jump it, we just jump it right there. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
This is fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
All right, Katelyn, what's your thing of the week?
My thing of the week. Oh, and we'll put a link to because I don't know the brand of your battery thing.
Ours,
we'll put a link to it.
You can still buy it. We bought ours a year ago, and it still works great. You can still buy it, but there's a newer version, so I'll link to both.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So my thing of the week is an Instagram account. I think we first started seeing
someone
clips.
DM'd us.
Well, Anne DM'd us, but that's not the first time we saw it.
Oh, you saw it before on Reddit?
I had seen 1 or 2 clips, but I didn't know who the cat was on Reddit. And but then our friend Anne of Anne of All Trades DM'd us with their Instagram account because the cat looks exactly like the supervisor.
Exactly like the supervisor, but the people
the owners
caretakers of the cat.
Yeah, the cat is, or the Instagram account is Owl Kitty, OWL Kitty. And what they do is this amazing video editing where they take the cat and insert the cat into clips from movies. So it'll be a John Wick clip and the cat is edited in, or a clip of the royal couple people with their new baby, but they're holding the cat instead. And it's so well done. It's so well done.
It's amazing. I mean, it definitely inspires me to do more with the green screen, because all of it is just
all green
screen and clever editing. And now I don't know how, but he often removes entire subjects from videos and replaces it with Owl Kitty. So it's first removal and then putting Owl Kitty in and then matching the lighting, adding shadows, all of that. It's a process. It's
so good. I'm so impressed by just the amount of work it must take to do those 10-second clips.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But yeah, it's very entertaining, very cute. Follow on Instagram. And the kitty looks like the supervisor.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, thanks so much for joining us on another Evan and Katelyn podcast. It's really enjoyable, kind of going into these podcast episodes, a little bit less planned, like we did with today's episode. So let us know if you like that. And we'll see you next time. Bye.